Hello everyone and welcome to this session of Bardic Quest, the show where a group of British-trained actors tell fantastical, improvised stories through the medium of Dungeons and Dragons. Before we begin this week's episode, I just want to let you know that we have just recorded and will be launching a new kind of bonus show called Level Up, now that the party have hit level 2. So it will be like a peep behind the curtain, as it were, to the party leveling up their characters, essentially. It might be a little bit spoilery if you are not keen on knowing what the characters might get up to, but if you are so inclined and leveling up is your thing, then do check it out. Character optimization is not guaranteed. But do enjoy. A little bit of housekeeping as well. Unfortunately, this session we are without Isaac, which means for the next handful of episodes the group will be without their Thoric, but he will be back very soon. So, without further ado, let's get into this week's episode. Last time, after finding some potions and a little bit of poison amongst the bugbear Clark's stash, Sergei had decided to, of course, dismember the body of Clark, taking the head of the body into his possession. The group then ventured deeper into the goblin hideout, finding themselves suddenly in a rather busy goblin den, and Sergei, seeing that they were massively outnumbered, presented Clark's head at the goblin's feet, causing their leader to appear with a battered Sildar Hallwinter at the ready to demand a truce under threat of Sildar's life, or Sildar's death, rather. Saga, not wishing to negotiate, immediately decided to fire her crossbow at the goblin leader, whilst Johann moved quickly to stab him with his blade. And in an immediate response, the goblin threw Sildar over the edge of a ledge. Over the edge of a ledge. That sounds good. Anticipating the human's death, but Sergei quickly reacted and cast Featherfall to bring Sildar gently to the ground safely. After Johann took one strike too many, he found himself knocked unconscious, but after Sergei administered one of the group's newly found potions of healing to Johann, he continued the fight, and then together Saga, Johann, Thoric and Sergei cleared out the rest of the goblin den, ensuring Sildar's safety. So, you are currently in the bottom of half of this cave, with the floor littered with goblin corpses. A battered and beaten Sildar sat propped up against the wall, and a path leading up to a higher ledge where the goblin leader once stood. So, what would you like to do next?
I say to Saga, nice shot.
It was.
Well, that was traumatizing. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm a little bit shaken.
Yeah.
What do we do now?
Make sure we're safe and rest for a bit.
You hear Sildar let out a little of pain.
But yes, forgot about him.
Oh, hello. Nice to meet you. My name is Sergei.
He kind of raises his hand to you in a kind of wave of acknowledgement.
Well, he's alive. That is good.
That was the entire point, Sergei. Sildar, was Gundren with you?
No.
Do you know what happened to him?
I think they took him.
We found his brooch.
Show me. He takes a look at it and he nods, acknowledging that it appears to be Gundren's. Where did you find it?
In the woods near the cave.
It looked like he'd been kidnapped.
Yeah.
When was the last time you saw him?
Oh, when we were brought this way, and then the bugbear told them to take him to the castle, and that's the last I heard.
What castle?
They call it Cragmore Castle. That's all I know.
We know
What
it.
happened?
Well, we were on our way to Phandelver, as you know, and he kind of winces in pain. And he says we were just ambushed by the goblins, and they took us completely by surprise and outnumbered us, and then they knocked us both unconscious and dragged us here. And as I say, the bugbear told them to take Gundren up to the castle, and I've not seen him since. I think they might have taken the map with him as well.
Did you say anything? Did you tell them anything about yourself? Did they hurt you?
Well, I overheard a few things. I heard the bugbear that leads these goblins, that they had orders to waylay me and Gundren, and I heard from the goblins that the Black Spider had sent words that the dwarf was to be brought to him, but I don't know who or what this Black Spider is.
I don't like spiders.
Black Spider.
No.
Is it a person rather than a actual spider?
Well, I don't know. I've heard nothing, just that name.
Hmm.
Sounds like a name.
Hmm. Maybe some kind of gangster or minor criminal warlord.
Could be.
Did the goblins, was it just an ambush? Or were you targeted?
Well, it sounds as though they knew we were coming, to me.
Sounds as though someone might have given them word.
Aye. Which is a scary prospect, really,
Indeed.
given everything going on.
How long have you been down here?
A day, maybe. They've beaten me and tortured me and asked me for information, and they've generally taken quite a lot of joy in making me as uncomfortable as possible, to be honest.
If you've only been here a day, there's a chance the dwarf might still be alive.
It's possible.
But if they took him to the castle, then maybe he's a hostage of some sort.
What do they want
Sergei
with him?
Well, as I say, I think they might have taken the map that Gundren had to the castle as well, so I don't know if it's something to do with that.
What map?
Or I suppose that Gundren wouldn't have explained this to you, would he? Well, you see, the Gundren and his two brothers, Tharden and Nundro, they recently located an entrance to the long-lost Wave Echo Cave, which is a site of the mines of the Phandelver's Pact. Does that mean anything to you? Does that ring any bells?
Never heard of it.
Right, well, let's see. So, basically, about 500 years ago or so, a clan of dwarves and gnomes made an agreement known as the Phandelver's Pact, by which they'd share a rich mine of which has got like wondrous caverns in it, which was known as this Wave Echo Cave. And in addition to like its mineral wealth, the mine contained great magical power. The human spellcasters allied themselves with the dwarves and the gnomes to channel and bind that energy into this great forge, which they called the Forge of Spells, where magical items could be crafted. At times were quite good, and the nearby town of Phandelin, or that version of Phandelin at least, prospered as well, but then a tribe of orcs swept throughout, a very big tribe, it was more like a horde really of orcs, swept through the north and laid waste to everything in their path, and the orc force was reinforced by evil mercenary wizards who attacked this Wave Echo Cave to seize its riches and magical treasures, and the human wizards fought alongside their dwarf and gnome allies to defend the Forge of Spells, and the ensuing battle destroyed much of the cavern. There were very few survivors. There's cave-ins and tremors, and the location of Wave Echo Cave has been lost for centuries since. But as I say, Gundren, well, him and his brothers, they think they found it, and they had a map to show the way, and that's, as I say, presumably been taken up to the castle now.
So Gundren wanted to find the treasure?
Well, I don't know how much you know about Phandelin as it exists today, but it's a fairly new settlement, and the prospect of getting the mines up and running again, and you know, it could bring a lot of wealth and civility to Phandelin, which is otherwise a bit of a frontier town, to be honest. So
misuse of magic leading to suffering. Where have I heard that before? This place should remain hidden. This map is an atrocity. It should be destroyed.
We still need to save Gundren. We need to go to the castle, or we need to save him.
We must secure this map before it falls into the wrong hands.
And your hands are the right hands, Johann?
No hands are the right hands in this particular scenario. But that is for another time. For now, we must find the dwarf.
Sergei, with a very serious, more serious than usual gaze upon him, discussing the kind of words of betrayal, is going to approach Sildar and kind of say, look, it sounds to me as though someone along the line has potentially betrayed you, okay? So you know you can trust us. I'm going to put my hand on his shoulder and cast Cure Wounds at first level.
thank you very much.
When we have time, you need to tell us everyone that knows about this. Or we can maybe narrow it down.
Tell them that you've healed me, or tell them that...
Oh no, you need to tell us of everyone who knows about the...
Oh, right. Well, I think it's, as far as I know, it's just us and Gundren and his brothers. We've, as you probably gathered when you met us in the tavern in Neverwinter, he's been keeping his cards very close to his chest as Gundren, so as to not allow this information to get into the wrong hands. And, you know, because it has both ethical and commercial impact, if too many people know about this, of course. We don't want an essential arms race to see who can get to it first. So, as I say, we've tried to keep it very quiet and on the, well, keep it a secret, really.
Agreed.
It's 5 hit points for covered in full.
Thank you.
Is Sildar still bound?
Is Sildar bound?
Yeah. Is his hand-
No, he's not. He wasn't really massively tied up. He's just, and I assume anyway that any binds that are on him, you probably would have.
Yeah, no, I was just
sorted
going
out
to say,
quite
like, if
quickly,
his
but-
hands were tied, I was going to cut them.
Just yeah. Okay. So you cut any bonds that he does have on him, and he's immediately looking a bit more chipper from the cure wounds at the hands of Sergei, and of course the unbinding at your hands as well, Saga.
Do you want to come with us?
Oh well, I'd be keen to get back to Phandelver for sure. It's probably the closest settlement to where we are.
We could
So,
use.
I
we could
could
use some help.
well,
We're going to storm the castle.
well, of course, we've got to find the place first. And he kind of looks down at one of the goblins and just grabs one of their swords. He says, "I'm not in much of good shape, but I'd be very grateful if you could escort me to Phandelver as well, because Sildar's not really wearing any armor at this point. That's all been taken from him. So he's, other than his sword, he's pretty much unarmed, and it's not even his sword; it's one of the goblin's swords. So he just says to you, "Yeah, I would appreciate an escort to Phandelver. I don't have any money on me now, but I'm sure I could put together a payment for you once we get there. I've got some contacts."
I'd like to lift up the leather armor that I've not been using and say, it might be a bit small, and I've been using it as a pillow, but in fact it actually looks like child size on you. So, but if you want, you might be able to use the shoulder pads.
So, okay, why don't you wear that?
It makes an excellent pillow. You know, I wouldn't want to destroy you when I sleep.
You mean you had a full set of leather armor and you haven't been wearing it this whole time?
Yes. Is that a problem?
Can you do me a favour, Sergei, and just put on that damn armour?
Well, it is tight. I do not laugh.
Do you think chainmail's comfortable? Just put it on.
For whatever session we're on, I would like to finally put on my leather armor.
While Saga and Sergei while Saga's like dressing him like it's his first day of school, I lean and like put a cautionary word into Sildar's ear. By the way, if you betray us, I'll kill you.
And Sildar kind of gives you the filthiest look. Clearly not impressed, but also not really in a position to say much. And so he doesn't. He just gives you a kind of, as I say, a dirty
Stink eye.
look. Yes, stink eye is probably appropriate. Yes.
Get the lift up through. There we go. Thank you, Saga.
Oh, let's grab what we can and get out of this cave.
I don't know about you, but I need rest.
I think that would be a good idea.
Very well. I'll take first watch.
Is the fire still? Was there a fire?
There was a cooking spit,
That's
wasn't
a
there?
very good question. Had it been put out or not? I think it had been put out, but let me just double check my notes for the sake of clarity. Yeah, it looks like it had been put out.
Okay.
So there are the remains of a cooking fire, and the smell of cooked, like badly cooked and cured meat.
On my tinderbox, I can reignite the fire and at least keep us warm.
Okay.
I find fire underground comforting for reasons unknown.
Johann, I'm medically fascinated by you.
Right.
Do you even know what that means, Sergei?
Nope, I used two words that were very big and I put them together.
Of course you did.
So, Johann, you get out your tinderbox, kind of smash some flints together, and you relight the fire just to keep the cave warm. You're currently surrounded not only with this fire, but also the carnage of dead goblins littering the floor. So it's not necessarily the nicest place to rest up. But you guys do rest up for... You kind of take an hour just to heal your wounds and eat and anything. Yeah? I feel like you're about to say something, Annina?
Yes. Something Saga would like to do. She'll wait until... If Johann's taking first watch, she'll wait until Sergei and Sildar are asleep.
Well, you're only at about just gone lunchtime at this point. It is.
So we're just resting. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just a short rest.
You're
still a good.
I thought we were doing long rest. Fine, short rest.
No, you're still a good. Probably a good 6 or so hours before you can probably long rest again.
Okay.
Short rest.
I shall not to rethink her plan.
Short rest taken.
Short rest. I would like to, while we're resting, give the Song of Rest by singing a rather disturbing, slightly off-tune lullaby. Meaning, I'll just read it. If you spent a hit dice, I believe you gain... Oh,
Yeah, you get an extra die to...
An extra d6 hit points.
Give me them things.
D8 plus 1.
Yay, I got to 4. Woohoo.
Nice.
Ooh.
How's everybody else got on?
Ollie's
Alright.
frozen. So...
Oh no, have we lost Ollie? Oh no,
no,
you're back again.
Woohoo!
That's
froze.
close. Okay.
I'm doing alright. I have 15.
Oh, Johann, you're looking pretty good on the old health front now after that rest as well.
Yes, I'm revitalized.
Nice. Okay, awesome. So, you take an hour or so. Sergei plays some music whilst you're resting, just while, that's his way of relaxing, just chilling out, playing some music, which fills you with a feeling of revitalization after you tend to your wounds and things. So you're now rested. What would you like to do?
I walk over to Saga out of earshot of Sergei. Kind of like rubbing my arms, like pat myself, and just like back in the forest when it was you and me and with the goblins, and if you weren't there, and I may not have made it through. So
That's correct.
I'm grateful. There it is.
Can you do me a favour?
What?
And she leans in really close and goes, never call me maiden again. Because next time I won't save you if you do.
But what shall I call you?
Saga. That's my name.
Oh, that's your actual name?
Yeah. What did you think it was?
I don't know. I thought it was like a sort of like a nickname, or like a fighting name, or I don't know.
No,
like
my fighting name's cooler. My name is Saga.
Very well. Fighting maiden. Maiden who fights.
Saga.
Sword maiden. I'm a maiden.
Okay.
I'm a maiden.
Okay. Don't tell the others. It's War Bride.
War bride.
Yeah.
War bride.
Keep that to yourself. And I'll watch your back. If you watch mine.
Thank you, Saga.
You're welcome.
So, Sildar's ready to go. You're all rested and healed. Cave still littered with goblin corpses. What would you like to do?
Can I check the leaders or the big bads? Can I check his corpse for any...
You certainly can.
Yeah. I'm gonna seem really like, ugh, I don't want to do this, but she'll do it anyway. She'll be like, ugh.
So there is. So you're looking specifically at the goblin leader, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's kind of carrying the usual stuff, like the goblin's armor and the scimitars and the bow and stuff. But in addition to that, you do see that he's carrying a little pouch on his waist.
Oh. And I check this pouch.
You certainly can. Inside the pouch, you find 15 silver pieces. And in there are 3 gold teeth.
I think I have the teeth going. Sildar!
He walks over and looks over his shoulder.
Gundren doesn't have gold teeth, right?
Don't think so, no.
Okay, good. That's a relief. So I'm gonna take the coins out.
Okay, yeah.
And then kind of be like, oh, gross. But I'm gonna keep the teeth.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
add them to your inventory then, and they're 15
3
silver
gold
pieces
teeth
as well.
and 15 silver.
Yeah, will it allow you to add custom items? I think it probably will.
Should do.
There's a place where, you can write it in.
Yeah, perfect. So yeah, just pop the 3 gold teeth in
Yeah.
there. Okay, awesome.
What are they? Some kind of prize of battle or a lucky charm?
It's gold teeth, but, it's gold, so it's disgusting. We could probably buy some food with it.
This may come in useful.
Becoming very useful.
You do love stating the obvious, don't you, Johann?
I am very observant. This is the truth.
Okay. And I thought I was bad with people.
He questions himself, thinking he was pretty good with people.
So, what would you like to do?
If we've got all the loot we can carry,
We should probably
Otherwise, it's just, as I say, the usual stuff like goblin armor on all the goblins and weapons and things. Nothing of particular value outside of arms.
do we fill our water skins from the water that runs through? Yes, we did.
That was a very good idea that Sergei suggested as you came into the area. So yes, you have your water skins filled. So yes, so you've looted, you're filled up with your water skins. What would you like to do?
Can I just ask before we move on? Is my oil flask lost now because there was a drop?
I don't believe you retrieved it, did you?
No.
So
But
it's probably gone.
Fine. I grieve its loss before moving on.
We should probably get back to the cart of provisions.
Yeah. Are there any rooms or nooks we haven't explored in this cave?
The only tunnel that you have seen that you've not ventured into is the one that led into the kennels.
I wonder if the kennel dogs could help lead us to the castle.
Sildar looks at you and he says, "What, the wolves?"
Yes.
We should at least check the room out.
Hoppity.
Okay. So you head back up the long winding tunnel, back over the bridge with the goblin lying face down upon it, back round through the Twin Pools cave and round following the stream down right nearby to the entrance to the main cave itself, and of course the entrance to the kennels. So just inside this cave mouth then, the one that leads out to the forest, there are a few uneven stone steps that lead up to this small dank chamber on the eastern side of the main passage, and the cave narrows to a steep fissure at the far end, which goes really quite high up, and it's filled with the stench of these animals, with the savage snarls and sounds of rattling chains greeting your ears, where there are 3 wolves chained up inside the opening, and each of the wolf's chains leads to an iron rod that's been driven into the base of a stalagmite.
Sounds and smells exactly where I used to live. Like exactly where I used to live.
Where did you used to live?
Well, if you take one big sniff and open your ears, I'll let your imagination run wild.
I regret ever asking.
No, thank you. But I have an idea. Run back out towards the bridge.
Right.
Drag the goblin corpse that was on the bridge back with me. With the intent of throwing him in to feed the wolves.
Right.
Oh.
Okay. So you drag this goblin all the way down the passage, and you see the wolves getting progressively more frenzied as you bring the goblin into the doorway. They're looking pretty unhappy at this point that you're even daring to disturb them. And you're throwing the goblin straight in, are you?
If I can, if the bars are wide enough. If not, then I butcher appropriately.
There are no bars here. This is just an open cave, and they're just chained to these stalagmites.
Sweet. I throw him in.
Okay. And the wolves immediately start like yanking at their chains, getting towards the goblin, and just start feeding upon it. It's a pretty grotesque image as they just tear this goblin to shreds. It looks as though they've not been fed for a long time.
What's your plan, Johann?
Yes, I'd love to know.
Just be ready.
They don't look particularly friendly, I must say.
Yeah, we used to have wolves. I would not pick these ones as companions.
Wayne? Mm-hmm? My animal handling is -1.
Holy shit. Okay.
I attempt to befriend one of the wolves.
Oh, God.
Hey.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yes. I attempt to hold my hand at the chain's length.
Okay.
With the intent that when they're done eating, they can give my hand a smell, and they will know me. Hopefully we have changed their nature, and now they will only eat goblin.
Okay. Then give me an animal handling check then, please.
Saga's gonna hover her hand near Johann's shoulder, just in case. This seems like a bad plan.
6.
Okie dokie. Bear with me 1 second. 6, you say? Okay. So the wolf that you're kind of not goading, but kind of trying to reach out to, gets progressively more and more frustrated and starts yanking at its chain. It doesn't look to be satiated at all. It's gunning for you essentially at this point.
Okay, that didn't work. Any other ideas?
We leave without a wolf? And you probably with all your fingers intact.
We can't just leave them here.
All 3 of the wolves are now really like yanking at these chains. They're desperate to try and
We let them
get
go,
us.
they'll maul us to death.
Let's calm the situation down. I would like to come forward. Okay, Mads, it's okay. Everybody leave. It'll be okay.
No, Sergei, no.
What are you
Much
gonna
more
do?
animal handling.
Oh Jesus! Okay, go for it.
Just to calm them down.
Sure.
I've got a +2. Here we go. That will be a 16. Calm down. It is okay. Right, we need to really quietly walk away. It's okay, dogs. Don't be very friendly.
The wolves are they're still looking pretty ferocious, but they're not quite yanking at their chains to the same degree. But they're certainly not happy that you're here.
Let's go.
Come on, it's... At this point, it's us or them.
So you stepping quietly away?
Yeah.
Okay. And are you heading back out into the forest, presumably?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So you step outside, leaving the wolves behind to get themselves wound up, and you step out. The light hits you quite brightly as you've been in the dark for a good couple of hours at this point now. The stream's trickling past you, and the woods from which you came from originally directly in front of you. You're heading back for the cart, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So you head back through the woods. It's a good 5-mile walk back to where the cart was, so that's going to take you a good couple of hours at this point. And as we are in the midst of winter, the sun is getting much lower in the sky. We're not quite at twilight yet, but we're probably an hour or so away. And you make your way back to where Thoric had hidden the cart under the makeshift tarpaulin that he created. The cart looks to have been untouched. He's hidden it well, and there is no sign really that it's been tampered with at all.
Oh, some luck for once.
And Sildar looks around, because you're obviously near the ambush site, and he looks around and he sees the map case that Gundren would have left behind, and he says, yep, no map.
This is true.
How far is
So
it
we'll
to,
take you to Phandelver, and then
Yes.
we must find Gundren.
I think so. Well, we're not far from Phandelver now, maybe a couple more hours travel, I think.
That's good.
So we should be able to get there before sundown.
We should go into the town and gather provisions. Make ready for the journey to the castle.
If we can find where this castle is, of course.
Ask around. Well, I can ask around.
Do you
Right.
know people in Phandelver?
I'm very good at extracting information from the unwilling.
Right.
hopefully
No
the
more
winning.
torture, okay?
Yes,
We're going to a nice
you are
friendly
not
village.
to torture any innocent people.
It won't be bad. Just be a little.
No, you're not.
But it's very effective.
No,
It's the ground.
we'll ask around. Like civilized people.
Human, do you know anyone in this town we're headed to?
He has a name as well.
I forget.
Johann.
Sildar.
Do you know anyone in this town we're headed to?
Well, I'm familiar with a colleague of mine. He's been down there for a couple of months. I've been keen to get down to Phandelver for my own assignment, as it were. A colleague of mine from the Lord's Alliance, Jarno Albrecht, is down there, and it's been some time since we've heard anything from him, so I just wanted to check in and see that he's well and good, and see what's going on with his assignment. But as I say, we've not heard from him for a couple of months, so it could be, he may not even be there now, but I'm sure with my connections in the Lord's Alliance I can, make some associates whilst we're down there.
Onward.
Sildar, you should get on the cart.
Just as we're setting off, I'd like to take one last look behind us from where we've come. Firstly, just to do a perception to see if anyone's following, and secondly, to see if I can spot maybe that little goblin friend somewhere in the woods.
Old Splug. Alright, yeah, give me a perception check.
It'll be a 6.
A 6.
Yes.
Okay. You see no sign of anybody following you.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
Alright. So, presumably you're going to get on the cart and head to Phandelver then, right? At this stage?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so you all get on the cart. Who's going to drive the cart?
Sildar.
Sildar, alright, fair. So
Pull his
Sildar
weight.
hops on, takes the reins of the oxen, and you guys presumably all hopping on the back, or are some of you escorting by the side?
I want to stay by Sildar in case he betrays us.
Sure. Okay.
I'd like to hop on back, and always with an eye behind my back. I'd like to keep a lookout.
Alright.
I'll hop on the back as well.
Okay.
Make sure Johann doesn't do anything stupid.
Oh, hello, Saga. Welcome to the back of the cart.
Hi, Sergei.
So you all hop on the cart then, and you set off on your way back, or rather back on track to Phandelver, which I think is a good place for us to take a break, which also means that's the end of this week's episode. So for those of you watching, thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're listening on the podcast, don't forget to subscribe and leave a nice review. So we'll take a break, and otherwise we shall see you next week.